After a good number of months, the folks at Pixelogic has just announced Zbrush for iPad. And Zbrush for iPad is super amazing, as I've been playing with this and it is just exactly what you would expect a tool like Zbrush to be for iPad. And this is literally a full transition of what you should be expecting from a sculpting tool like Zbrush, especially when they get to put it in a very interesting mobile device like iPad, as it leverages off Apple's M series chip and all the gesture features that both the Apple Pencil and the iPad support. And it is quite interesting what you can do with this, as Zbrush for iPad introduces a completely redesigned user interface and touch-based control. It still maintains the full power and functionalities of the desktop version and simply leverages on Apple's intuitive touch capabilities, which makes it super easy to dive into sculpting, particularly if you're a new user. And if you're very conversant with working with Zbrush for the desktop, then this is a super seamless transition. Now, we've seen every other kind of sculpting tool that exists out there, but we already know that Zbrush is Zbrush, while other sculpting tools are, what they are. And for starters, once you open up the app, you get to be welcomed in this very beautiful user interface. It gives you that vibe of, you're here for something pretty cool, gives you the initial information. You can toggle over to My Sculpt, where you can see all of the sculpts you've got. If you like to get inspired, you can go over to Zbrush Central and get some inspiration, and of course, follow up with some works right there. And for you to start sculpting, you can either choose to hit the import button to import files that you like to work on inside of Zbrush, or you can click on the plus new sculpt button, and this brings you into a space where you can get some 3D base meshes that you can start off with. You can also start off with a primitive, or you can get started with the Z-Sphere tools. So all of these are currently available for you to get started with in Zbrush for iPad. And workflow with Zbrush for iPad is super optimized with gesture controls for frequently used features like the draw size, the focal shift, and the undo and redo actions. With a single finger, you can orbit. With 2 fingers pinched, you can simply zoom in and zoom out. And if you simply use 3 fingers, you can use that to increase or reduce your brush size, which I think is pretty dope when texturing or sculpting on a model. Say for example you're done painting and you would like to undo, you can simply tap 2 fingers on the screen to undo and tap 3 fingers on the screen to redo previous actions. Folks at Maxon did leverage on the brand new Apple Pencil to add additional functionalities to provide users quick access to essential features. Of course, if you're using previous versions of Apple Pencil, you can literally take advantage of all of the Apple Pencil features in terms of painting, drawing, and sculpting, all of that stuff. The only thing is, with the new version of Apple Pencil, you have a bit more customization because of those new cool features that now comes with that pencil itself. However, you can go through the interface, poke around, and find the features or tools that you're looking for. I do love the fact that folks at Maxon are leveraging off one very interesting gesture feature that exists with the iPad. Actually, that also exists on the iPhone as well. It's pretty cheeky and nerdy, but I love the fact that they implemented this. So if you're on your iPhone or on your iPad and then you have one image selected, whether you're doing that on a browser or you're doing that on your gallery, you can simply travel around the interface and add multiple files or even multiple images, and then you can transfer that to another tool or another application and paste it right there. Makes it very easy for you to drag files across the entire system, and they're actually adopting that and using that for the brush palette itself. So if you like to customize your brush palette, you can also do the same thing. You can select one brush and you can add multiple brushes in that regards and drag them over to your palette and arrange the brushes exactly how you want it. It's a pretty nice one and I love it. And still on the topic of customization, you can also customize the quick menu. And with this, you can simply add the kind of tools that you like to have for the custom menu, and you can make multiple versions of this custom menu. And once you're done, you can simply use the pie menu to launch the quick menu. And from there, you can swipe left or right to access the custom menu that you've just created. There's also a very simple undocking of tools, and you can undock several panels for ease of use and add multiple panels to this depending on the favorite panel category that you like to build. And this would simply allow you to create a floating widget of your favorite panels. There's a lot of customization that you can literally do with this, from adding several kinds of brushes that you might probably want to work with, to going over to the settings and making some adjustments to the canvas. These customization features are super useful. One other interesting customization that you can do is with the pie menu. So the pie menu can also be changed. Basically, the entire 4 things that you get to see is your Control, Shift, Space, and Alt button, and you can literally change that if you go over to the setting and play with the drop down right here. And if you like working with shortcuts, then this is definitely going to be a super breeze for you, as all of the shortcuts that you have on your typical desktop version of ZBrush are all available for ZBrush for iPad, from the marquee select that has to do with hidden selection, all the way to using shortcuts to create polygroups, hide and reveal stuff, increasing your brush size, reducing your brush size, increasing intensity and all that. These shortcuts are currently available and you can literally just use your keyboard to control them. There's a good number of beloved ZBrush features that are now available for iPad in regards to the tools that you get to work with. One of them is Z-Remesher. Of course, we know that Z-Remesher automatically generates new meshes with evenly distributed polygons. That feature is a lifesaver and is currently available. Sculptris Pro is also another interesting one, which automatically adjusts triangular tessellation with every single brushstroke on the viewport, allowing you to concentrate more on the sculpting without worrying about the technical limitations. Dynamesh and Array Mesh are also available, as with Array Mesh you can make multiple duplication of any model that you're working with in real time, and of course you can also use this to create interesting patterns and shape as well. Live Boolean is there. We already know Live Boolean empowers you to combine, subtract, and intersect shapes, make some very interesting things. Dynamic systems. So with dynamic systems, you can do lots of cool things. It makes sense to see that dynamic systems is now here, as this simply enhances your sculpt by allowing you to drape your model on any surface naturally. We also have some very interesting tools like the poly painting tools as well for simultaneously painting and sculpting. That is also available. Decimation Master is also another tool that you can get here. Morph Target, Thick Skin, the Slime Bridge, those tools are right here. And if you rely on ZBrush to make your hair, Fiber Mesh is also available. In terms of light, the same lighting tools that you've got with ZBrush for desktop is right here. And you've also got cameras, movie, and also renders. So just in case you like to make a turntable, or maybe you like to make a simple render right on device for presentation, you do have all of that feature. So depending on what you're trying to make, the kind of rendering you're trying to go for, probably like to add some ambient occlusion, you do have all of these. And for tools, there's just one simple tool that I don't think we're having, and that is the Z Modeler tool. And I kind of think that this is going to be left for Forger, as Forger seems to be a tool that the folks at Maxon are a bit more focused on for being a modeling tool, as against being a fully sculpting tool, since ZBrush for iPad is now here. And one thing which I believe every artist would want to know is how this performs, and believe me when I say it's buttery smooth. So in terms of working with this, it is pretty similar to what you've got with your desktop, as it still holds that fidelity and that ease of use when manipulating high-level geometries in the tool itself. So in terms of performance, this works as expected. And for file exchange, once you're done sculpting, you can choose to export your file as either a ZBrush project to your desktop or a ZTL. However, if you're looking at exporting this as a 3D model, then you can also do that as either an OBJ or a USD file. And the idea to go USD is pretty simple. There's a lot of pump in the industry for USD file to become the next file interchange and drop in FBX, as that has actually had a long run. USD file just allows for more collaboration, and there are lots of things that you can pack into this particular file format, which I think both Apple and also Maxon are fully backing. Of course, it's a no-brainer, as Apple has actually championed and also pioneered USDZ files, and having these to become part of their system should be expected. And from the test and all of the stuff that we've got, ZBrush for iPad is an amazing tool to work with. And we all know that the chances of anything free coming from Maxon is super slim, and ZBrush for iPad actually carries a price tag. And more like what we predicted previously, this is a subscription-based tool. So, just to douse the flame a bit, there is a free version that you can work with, but if you like to work with the whole 210 brushes and 125 additional features that ships with ZBrush itself, just like we've got on the screen here, then this is going for a subscription that you can either get monthly or you can pay yearly. And the monthly subscription is £10 because we're currently in the UK, and the yearly subscription is £90. And I believe the pricing will be different for various regions. However, if you like to experience working with ZBrush for iPad, you can definitely get started with the free plan. So the free plan simply offers you 28 sculpting brushes, 50 cool features from the desktop version that you can work with, the dynamic tessellation sculpting with Sculptris Pro. You've also got a number of automatic retopologies that you can do with Z-Remesh. Of course, this also comes with vertex color painting, aka poly paint. I do have to say something though, that when you're working with this, everything seems, fairly easy and everything works if you're working with the free version. But you cannot get your final sculpt out of the app because once you go over to the export section, you can only export this as a turntable or you can export this as an image. Other than that, you do have a fantastic tool that you can work with, and it is pretty interesting to see what the folks at Maxon has put together with this amazing tool. Something else to also keep in mind is if you already have the Maxon One subscription, then you don't need to purchase Zbrush for iPad, as this comes automatically with it. So for those who like to try it, links to this is going to be in the description for you to go ahead and download it. And if you'd like to see a bit more of an in-depth video, probably a simple walkthrough of how things actually perform, or maybe you like us to do a simple comparison between what we've got with Zbrush versus Nomad versus, the uniform tool from the folks at Spacil, do go ahead and subscribe and also tell us what you guys think about that in the comment section. I will give it to the folks at Maxon as they've done something that is super interesting, and hopefully we might be seeing a version for Android pretty soon. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you like something from this, you can go ahead and give a like and don't forget to share with a friend. And I'd like to see you guys in the next one. Peace.